What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing another Black Desert online video, and today we're taking a look at the global lab update that just happened for September 17th. If you want to check out the original Google translation version of this, there's a link to that in the description down below. In addition to, fortunately, Black Desert Foundry has us covered once again with some more legible translations as well. So if you want to check that one out, this link is also in the description down below. You can check out whichever one you want to from there. So let's go ahead and jump on in and check that out. First up, we've got Nuver Boss update. This coincides with the update we saw to Zarka previously. So we now also have a Nightmare Nuver that is being released. These upgraded bosses, it's obviously going to work just like the Zarka one does, but the loot that can be obtained, you can get actually up to a TET level weapon from them. So a TET Nuver or a TET Zarka is in some tiny percentage possible to drop from these things. They also do have 1,000 G bars, which are 100 million silver each, depending on how many that is. We don't really have verification on that, at least from this point. Of course, Nuver's where Nuver's always been, so nothing wild there. Marnie's Suspicious Device. This is the character tagging system we saw hit the global lab last week. Some updates to how it's going to work. It's actually going to move the armor pieces as well as the accessories in addition to the weapons. The cost to it is only based on the weapon cost alone, because of course without that you could just easily move the armor pieces through, a storage unit or even your tent with a tag character. They can share the space on a tent as well. So these items can have crystals put into them. If they're missing sockets, you can remove crystals, but you cannot extract them. So that Black Spirit Essence or crystal extraction tool can't be used on that. It does maintain that the item transfer cost is calculated by 3% of the total price of just the weapons plus the Kaphras levels themselves. So the armor and accessories are irrelevant in this transfer, which, like I said, makes sense because you could easily move those on your own, no problem. You can't move with this rented CP gear, equipment that does not use weapon vouchers, shy weapons, life tools that can be attached to the main character's secondary weapons such as fishing rods and floats as well. You also cannot use this function in these following situations: Node or Siege War, Red Battlefield, Battle Arena, Archer's Arena, Savage Rift, Horse Racing, Guild Battle, Ocean, Altar of Blood, or the Pit of the Undying. If the character that you're transferring to has a negative karma amount, all of the transferred equipment that you've moved over will be destroyed upon death. So keep that in mind. Just don't get dead would be my 2 cents on that one. Next up, we've got the Black Spirit Adventure. Some updates to it. It is upgraded a bit with some extra dice that you're going to get. So you'll now have 2 dice instead of 1 that you can roll for it. It's got some Monopoly rules. So if you roll doubles on it, you have a chance to throw another time in addition to that. Some items were also upgraded with a bonus platform as well for what you can get from that. Tier 10 the Tier 10 Ardunat changes. They're still kind of tweaking this. However, it looks like this is the final iteration of it. They do note that this will be live, I believe, on the Korean servers only next week. So this is going live as it is now set up. So in order to indulge in dreams, the item sensor to call dreams has been changed. It can be obtained by crafting core materials such as the Old Moon Incense Burner, Dream of Dreams, and the Dream's Feather. So these 3 items, the Old Moon Incense Burner is one of the ingredients used for this, is received by crafting the Old Moon Incense mold and other materials that can be purchased from the Old Moon Manager. Then the Dream of Dreams is going to be obtained by grinding the Flower of Regret, which can be obtained through Horse Imperial delivery. And then we have the Feather of Dreams, which is obtained by returning the wings of the Brilliant Fairy and the wings of the Brilliant Fairy, once again, to Silent. But there's a rumor that it's rarely found around Locky Arrow. So it looks like 2 different ways to obtain that, turning in Brilliant Fairy wings or the Locky Arrow little mini game that also exists in the game, in case you forgot. As far as the skills for this, we've got 3 that are 100% proficiency when this guy is required. To note, he cannot be registered evidently on the market. It does say that the base price of it is higher than the combined price of your level 30 male and female Pegasus for this. However, like I said, it cannot be traded on the market. So this is going to be obtainable just for yourself personally. And that's it, evidently, at least for now. The 3 skills that it does get: Vigorous Leap, Emergency, and Wings of Swiftness. What each of these do, respectively. Vigorous Leap. After Instant Excel or S Instant Excel, the horse will jump into the air with the wind and fly. We have Emergency. After flying in the air with graceful gestures, you stay in the air for a period of time. And the Wings of Swiftness. After learning how to read the flow of the wind, Dream Ardunat can break through the wind and descend at much higher speeds during Wings of Freedom. So there's what we got to look forward to with that new horse coming. Red Battlefield changes. We've got these available for seasons now, so that's essentially what we're looking for here. Guild changes. A couple of new roles have been added. We have an artillery role that's been added that can actively lead a guild war by specializing in node war and siege powers. We also have an assistant role that can acquire and use all guild skills and use command to gather and battlefield command to gather. Looks like for the most part just giving you resources available in case for some reason the guild leader's not around. You can assign other roles so that other people can get the job done there. We've got some updates to Afuaru, the grave robber that runs around in Valencia here. Evidently he's going to be available in these new spots other than the basic ones that he's in. Also Shira Ruins, Shira Khan, Tooth Fairy Forest in Ronaros is which that one is, and the Blood Wolves village as well. Previously, we just had Garmoth in that, so he's going to be added there, it looks like. And we also have him added to the grind zones in Odalita. He's also going to get an updated loot table so that he's a little more valuable when you see him. They've decided that the current value of him is not quite worth it, so they're going to increase that a bit for us. We've got Patrigio, confirmed the indomitable will of adventurers participating in the Hell of Immortality, mobilized more powerful players. A couple of updates there. Also, Bronze Immortal Crow insignia for that's been improved to make the battles of the players more natural in the level of immortality that you're on. Now the big one here, some class changes. This isn't a complete revamp of classes, but I do want to read you the developers' note. They're adding skills to it that they're calling Bond skills, similar to how we see crystals. So let me go ahead and tell you what the developers are saying here. We got Bond skill added to Awakening. It's a skill that strengthens the existing skill even more, like the non-Awakening Jinn skill, but it has, that's absolute, but it has a different method and role to acquire. First of all, you can choose and acquire only one of all these skills. And the skill acquired will only gain crowd control effects or a defensive effect like forward guard or super armor without additional damage or increase in hits. With the addition of this skill patch and the PvP damage increase that's also coming along with this of certain Awakening skills applied in this patch, it's expected that the performance gap between Succession and Awakening that many adventurers have sent opinions about will be resolved to some extent. They do note that they're going to continue keeping an eye on this, but this seems to be the, hey, here, we figured it out, now Awakening is going to be in line with Succession. It's up to you guys to decide if you think that for it. So let's take a look at what bond skills are going to be available for each class. There's also a couple of class tweaks alongside these, so we'll take a look at those as well. For Warrior, your options for your bond skill, keep in mind you can only pick one of these. Solar Flare can pick up super armor. Merciless, it gets a forward guard. Grave Digging is going to have a bound attack on successful smash attacks. Balance Strike can have forward guard. Frenzy Strikes, forward guard. And Pulverize, we get knockdown on the good last hit. So you get to pick which one you're running out of that. Keep that in mind. You don't get all of these things, just one of them. For Ranger, we've got Cold Blade picking up forward guard, Wailing Wind knockback, Elven Rage knockdown, Breezy Blade stiffness, Waltz of Wind super armor, or Nature's Tremble stun on that. For Sork, we've got Dead Hunt getting forward guard, Grim Reaper's Judgment super armor, Karshian's Nightmare stiffness, Violation front guard, Turnback Slash super armor, Blade of Darkness super armor as well. For Zerker, Blasting will get forward guard, Devastation gets a stun, Titan Blow will have forward guard, Flamebuster has forward guard, Ground Lifting super armor, Giant Leap will have stiffness on success, bound when additional hit is successful, float on successful retreat hit, or stiffness when hitting is successful while maintaining the retreat. In addition to that, a couple of changes here to Zerker. After using Ultimate Headbutt, it's been changed so that the knee kicks of Storming Beast is activated, and the bug where the character appeared unnatural when using Undertaker, the absolute version anyway, to the right has been fixed. For their Awakening set, the amount of charging PvP damage from Flamebuster has been increased to be applied equal to the normal damage amount, and the blasting skill has been improved to be fired immediately after the first bombing and second hitting in place of Buster training. The Flow Ancient Power skill has been changed so that the front guard is maintained even when charging is completed, and the time to remain in the charging completion state has been reduced. The speed of charging Flow Ancient Power has been increased, and for Succession, the number of hits has been increased as follows when using the following skills with Prime Final Strike. The number of final blows on Predatory Hunt's been increased by 2, Fearsome Tyrant's been increased by 1, and Beastly Wind Slash has been increased by 1 hit as well. During Succession, the activation speed of Undertaker has been increased. All defense reduction values have been increased to from 5 to 15 at the last hit of Prime Raging Thunder. The range of Claw Scar skill has been changed to match the attack range of Prime Fierce Strike. The description of the Beast attack of the Prime Predatory Hunt skill among the description of the Beast of the Prime Beast form skill has been moved to the control key part of Prime Predatory Hunt skill. For Tamer, we've got bond skill additions here. Beast Rampage will get forward guard, Legendary Beast Dance, super armor, all-around spinner, floating on success of additional hits, Garuda forward guard while using the skill, Moonlight Strike, stiffness on successful hit, Echo Pierce, super armor while using the skill. Moose is going to get Spinner, a frontal guard, Crosscut, stiffness when second round hit is successful, Crust Crusher, a guard forward guard on it, Fiery Crevice, super armor while using the skill. Projection, a super armor as well. And below the belt will get a bound added to it with Bond. For Meiwa, we have Tenacious Edge, we'll get a forward guard. Sticky Snowflake, a super armor. Moonrise, stun on it. Petal Drill, bound. Frost Pillars, knockdown. And Petal Bloom, knockdown on successful hit as well. A couple of changes here. PvP damage of the following skills has been increased for the Meiwa Moonrise. Petal Drill, Frost Pillars, and Petal Bloom all increased 17% across the board there. Damage of the following skills also increased. We get increased to Tip of an Iceberg and Cloud Stab to go alongside those. For Valkyrie, their Bond skill options, we got Sancrum Ferret, we'll get a forward guard. Castigatio, super armor. Verdict Lancia Lestite, float on it. Purification, stun. Hostilidium, knockdown. Sorry, I'm butchering these, I know it. Sanctitas de Enslar, a bound, will be added to that as well. Kuno is going to get Saw Spree of Sonin, a forward guard. Half Moon Slash, stiffness. Lethal Spin Spree, stiffness. Lunar Dash, guard. Forward guard, rather. Delighted Blast, a super armor, and Wheel of Wrath, a forward guard. We've also got an increase in PvP damage to Chakram Rise, Indignation, Wrath, the flows for each of those, then Wheel of Wrath, and the Half Moon Slash as well. Ninja's options, you're going to get Corrupt Sword Dance, a forward guard. Sudden Decapitation, also a forward guard. Bloodthirst Katana Shower, a float on successful slash strike. Murderous Intent will get a super armor. Serpent Ascension will get a forward guard. And Drastic Measures is going to get a super armor on that. For Wizard here, we've got the Aqua Gel Explosion will get stiffness, Belighted Destruction, a bound, Water Sphere, forward guard, and Chilling Wave, a forward guard as well. We've also got a PvP damage increase to Aqua Gel Explosion, Hellfire, Cataclysm, and Belighted Destruction. For Witch, we've got the Bond skills Equilibrium Break, which will get a stiffness. A Fisher Wave is going to get forward guard, Detonative Flow, forward guard as well, and Thunderstorm, a stun. For DK, we've got options for Bond. Touch of Exploitation is going to get a forward guard. Spirit Blaze, a forward guard as well. Seed of Catastrophe, going to get a super armor. Spirit Hunt, a stiffness. Shattering Darkness, a stiffness as well. And Spirit Legacy, a stun on that. We've also got fairly significant PvP damage increase. Spirit Blaze, Spirit Legacy, Spirit Hunt, Flow Spirit Blaze, Twilight Dash, Cluster of Despair are all going to receive a 20% PvP damage increase. Seed of Catastrophe and the Flow for it both get a 10%. Shattering Darkness and the Flow Bombardment are also getting a little bit of a PvP damage boost as well. Because I do main Dark Knight, just kind of looking at this, this obviously helps. More damage is going to be good, especially in PvP for Dark Knight. I don't think that this fixes fundamental issues because you can't cancel out of skills like you can in Succession still. So I think that's going to be severely lacking. Even if the damage were to supersede what Succession does, it doesn't. But even if it did, the fact that you can't cancel out of your Wheel of Fortune, Lunacy, Avidir, and these types of things really still makes Awakening, in my opinion, not good enough. And the sustain issues are obviously still going to exist in PvE. Adding things like a forward guard to Touch of Exploitation is relevant. I know it had a damage increase to it, but that skill just takes so long already. It's completely useless in PvE. Or PvP. You could use it in PvP if you just really want to get grabbed like instantly. So anyways, moving on from that, Striker for Bond options, we've got a forward guard to Ultimate Crush. Infernal Destruction's getting a super armor. Skull Crusher will get a knockdown. Spiral Cannon, super armor. Endless Explosion, forward guard. Rampaging Predator will get a stun. Some updates here for Awakening. Tornado Kick that's activated while in Awakenings changed as follow. It will not activate after Skull Crusher. Improvements have been made so that Tornado Kick's connected more quickly after using Guard Brace Training, Ultimate Crush, and Endless Explosion, and fixed a problem where the cooldown time was reset and the float effect continued to be applied when using the Tornado Kick skill whilst in Awakening. The PvP damage of Skull Crusher has been increased as well, 7% on there. For Succession, after using Twisted Collision and Rising Blast combo, the Prime Skull Crusher can now be activated when the C key is pressed. PvP damage of Prime Rage Hammer has been increased. The number of PvP hits is increased by 1 hit for the skills in Succession Flow Bombardment, Succession Combo Final Blow, Succession Ankle Hook, Martial Deva, and Prime Wolf's Hunger. In the raising motion of the Succession Crouching Wolf skill, the Martial Spirit Shards have been changed to recover more quickly. For Mystic, our Bond options here, we've got Tidal Burst getting a forward guard, Rapid Stream, a forward guard, Rising Dragon, a float, Spiral Tornado, a super armor, Sea Burial, a bound, Wave Orb, a forward guard on that. Lawn is going to get Earthly Pain having a forward guard, Taunting Death, a super armor. Furor will get a forward guard, Flailing Blades, a super armor, Deadly Dance, a forward guard, and Tailspin, a knockdown when 1 hit is successful. They've also got a PvP damage increase, 25% on most of these, a little bit lower on some, on Furor, Deadly Dance, Flow Mangler, Bleeding Hearts, Tailspin, and the Flow Vice as well. Archer's Bond options, Radiant Explosion will get a bound, Spear of Sylvia, bound, Luthragon's Call, forward guard, Uproot, a super armor, Full Bloom, forward guard, and Piercing Light, a super armor. Shy still exists. We've got some description changes to a few skills on there, but it doesn't really matter. Guardian's options for Bond. Glorious Advance is going to get a forward guard. Scornful Slash forward guard. Cleansing Flame float. Searing Fang bound. Dragon's Maw knockdown. God Incinerate a bound on that one as well. That's going to be quite interesting. For Hash, we've got Bond options, a forward guard to Inquisition, super armor on Sin Splitter, Ensnaring Sand, a bound, Dune Slash, super armor, Collapse, a forward guard, Serpent's Coil will get a knockdown as well. A couple of things, some corrections to a bug that was registering with Way of Owl skill in the skill slot. Rage of the Black Spirit's been expanded to be used for the following skills: Crown Kick, Dune Slash, and Collapse. He's got Rob 'em skills available as well, so we should be seeing those coming pretty soon. You can see there what they've got listed for those. A little bit longer for NA and EU. So that's it for the Global Lab. Quite a few things. This is very, very, very interesting to see how these awakenings are going to be impacted with these new Bond skills. Really excited to see Nuver and Zarka. They did actually tweet on the NA EU Twitter about these bosses, so we should have these implemented fairly soon as well. So that'll be kind of cool and give you some more options as far as world bosses go. So I'm pretty excited for that. And it shouldn't be too long to see these tier 10s hit NA EU as well, since the KR servers look like they're going to be getting it next week too. So let me know what you guys think about what's going on in the Global Lab. Be interested to hear from you guys. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you get notifications when new videos do go live. And if you'd like to catch me playing live, there's a link to my Twitch page in the description as well. You can jump on over there and drop a follow so you'll get updates for that. With that said, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.